Chapter 1 Immortality. Each of us is immortal. I don't mean simply that we pass on our genes, our beliefs, our mannerism, and our ways to our children, and they in turn to their children, though of course we do. Nor do I mean that our accomplishments, the work of art, the new way of making shoes, the revolutionary idea, the recipe of blueberry pea, live after us. Though of course they do. I mean that most important part of us, our soul, lives forever. Sigmund Freud described the mind as functioning on different levels. Among them is what he called the unconscious mind, of which we are not aware by definition, but which stores all the experience and directs us to act as we do, think as we do, respond as we do, feel as we do. Only by assessing the unconscious, he saw we can learn who we are and with the knowledge be able to heal. Some people have written that that is what the soul is, Freud's unconscious. And in my work of regressing people and lately progressing people to their past and the future lives so that they can more easily heal themselves, this is what I see to the working of the immortal soul. I believe that each of us possesses a soul that exists after the death of the physical body and that it returns time and time again to other bodies in a progressive effort to reach a higher plane. One of the questions that comes frequently is, where do the souls come from? Since there are so many more people now than when the world started. I have posed this question to many patients and the answer is always the same. This is not only the place where there are souls. There are many dimensions, many different levels of consciousness where there are souls. Why should we feel that we are the only place? There is no limit to energy. This is one school of many schools. Also, a few patients have told me that the souls can split and have a simultaneous experiences. There is no empirical evidence for this. The soul does not have DNA, at least not the physical kind, described by the Nobel Prize winning scientist James Watson and Francis Crick. But the anecdotal evidence is overwhelming and to me unassailable conclusive. I have seen it virtually every day since Catherine took me with her to pastimes as disparate as Arabia in 1863 BC and Spain in AD 1756. For example, there are Elizabeth and Pedro in Only Love is Real. The lovers in our former lives who came together again in this one, Linda. Into Time into Healing. In Scotland, married in Italy, centuries later to her present day grandfather and later still growing old in Holland, surrounded by a large and a loving family. Dan, Laura, and Hope, and some 4,000 others, some I have written about and most not, whose souls have journeyed through past lives, carrying the immortal part of them to present. Some of these patients could speak foreign languages in their past lives that they had never learned or studied in this one. The phenomenon called the phenomenon called xenoglossy, and a remarkable proof that what they were reporting was true. When my patients remembered themselves, when my patients remembered themselves in their other lives, the trauma that had brought them to see me in the first place were eased and in some case cured. That is one of the soul's primary purpose, to progress towards healing. If it were only I who had seen such cases, then you might be right in thinking I was hallucinating or had lost my mind. But the Buddhists and the Hindus have been accumulating past lives cases for thousands of years. Reincarnation was written of in the New Testament until the times of Constantine. When the Romans when the Romans censored it, Jesus himself may have believed in it, for he asked the apostles if they recognized John the Baptist as Elijah returned. Elijah had lived 900 years before John. It is fundamental tenet of Jewish mysticism. In some sects, it was a standard teaching until the early 19th century. Hundreds of other therapists have taped thousands of past life sessions, and many of their patients' experiences they have been verified. I myself have checked specific details and events recorded in Catherine's and others' past life memories. Accurate details and the events impossible to ascribe to false memory or fantasy. I no longer doubt the reincarnation is real. Our souls have lived before and will live again. That is our immortality.